Hi folks, this is video number 183. The title is Our Friend Dan. Clint Lewis, myself, Dan Metzger, Pat Payne, Tim Bentley, Bobby Crispell, and Jerry Hamilton, we made up the original Diaper Global Training Group. We existed from June 1st, 1998 to June 1st, 2001. We trade lean lines from Japan, Germany, Poland, England, Spain, and the 3 U.S. plants. The original flex lines for the machine you're wearing Pampers and Loves, and the original pull-up pant type diaper. I met Dan when I was transferred from Pampers to Loves. Back then they were totally separate P&G businesses. I was on an opposite shift for a couple of years, but we had brief discussions at shift change. After attending Tech 4 training, I became Line 22's mechanic on my shift. Dan and I had more interaction during shift change team meetings, where I covered the happenings on my shift, as Dan and his team were our relief. Later I got a 3-year day shift assignment as maintenance planner for Line 22. I coordinated with Dan to see that his folks were assigned jobs, working with an experienced person to get required promotion items checked off. Dan served in the Air Force as an aircraft mechanic. He spent a year at Da Nang Air Base in South Vietnam. He related a couple stories. The first involved a rocket attack. It was daytime, and Dan, who was riding shotgun in a truck, saw a rocket heading straight for him. Dan quickly slammed his foot on the driver's accelerator foot and floored it. They drove right at the rocket. Making that move caused the rocket to overshoot the truck and hit and exploded harmlessly well behind our truck. The second story wasn't so lucky. Dan was on a leaflet drop mission. He just shuffled a little in his seat when a bullet came up through the floor and his seat. The bullet hit near his spine and mid-back. As time of P&G work progressed, Dan started getting an odd feeling in his leg. It was as if his leg was asleep. He also lost control over his foot. It would just drop when he lifted his leg. Examination of his spine revealed an inoperable entwined tumor. All they could do was deflate it periodically. Dan was fitted with a walking brace. He couldn't work on the lines anymore. Dan was assigned to quality control. He was working on the computers, but still on occasion he had to go to a line computer. He tried to ride a tricycle, but that didn't work. He went on disability. I worked with him studying for his insurance agent license. I took and passed the test too, but I'm not a salesman. He was hired by MetLife in Wilkes-Barre. That was mostly desk work with occasional house calls. He was doing pretty good. His road got another big pothole. Dan had a bad heart attack. He flatlined once, and they paddled him back. He remembered a soothing calm coming over him. About then he got zapped. "Hurt like hell," he told me. I had taken my retirement, but had to sit out a year before coming back as a contractor. I would be working for the same folks as when I was Mahopany's North American Initiatives trainer. Global this time. Danny needed work, and we needed one more trainer. The way agents were paid was from a slush fund of sorts. He was out for 4 or 5 months, and his pay was just $55 a month. I called him. The first week he was in Cincy, it was really something. I got him a furnished apartment in my building just off Montgomery Road and Fields Earl. His apartment wouldn't be ready for a week, so he hung out with me. He got his joint up, assignment and safety training completed. It was the middle of the week. We were sleeping in our Hanes leisure suits. Dan in the recliner and me on the couch. Then I heard it. The tornado siren was blaring non-stop. If you want that whole story, go to my YouTube channel, 12Footer60, and scroll to video number 46. The title is Mr. Twister. We got 3 good years out of that job. We maxed Social Security, at least 2 of them. The next time we worked together was startup of a Pearl tampon line at P&G's Auburn, Maine plant. 3 of us were mechanical support. I got redirected to develop the product changeover system. Dan got about a year out of that one. I came home early as my brother-in-law got killed by a drunk. Dan and I had a 2-bedroom apartment on the 2nd floor. He said the snow was so high, if he wanted, he could slide down to the car. It was up to the railing. Kind of glad I missed that. Dan moved to State College. His daughter was there. He was working as the manager of the airport rental car place. We talked on the phone from time to time. Bob Crispell and I were working at Winton Hill, Ohio. That is where a lot of product research and development is done. Bob was working spare parts and I was working speed up. We made arrangements to meet Dan at a pizza shop south of I-80 on our way home. We met there about 9:45 p.m. and went in and sat down. A worker came over and told us everything was shut down as they closed at 10. Crap. We went out to the parking lot and shot the breeze a while, and we all hit the road. That was the last time I saw Dan in person. Now for some side adventures. But first, my second wedding. Eileen and I got married on the Cincinnati Belle riverboat. Bob Crispell's daughter was a professional photographer. She took pictures, and Dan took the videos. I've plugged in 4 pictures of the Cincinnati Belle. Those of you who have never seen one kind of up close, this was my favorite things in Cincinnati. Belle, I believe, is 120 feet long, and it's 4 decks. 3 enclosed, and the top deck was like a big patio. And the pilot house was up there where the captain steered the boat. The hull was black, but everything else was bright white, except for the trim around the edges of each floor was bright red. And the big paddle wheel was also bright red. Had 4 stacks. 2 small ones towards the back, 2 large ones towards the front. The large ones are actually on hinges, so they could fold them down. They laid down alongside the pilot house. So when the water was high, they could still clear the bridges going under Interstate 71 and 75. The walkway around the Cincinnati Belle on each deck is probably at least 4 feet wide, maybe 6, I forget now. But on the bow end, there's more like a balcony off each one. So they have to have space to move their stuff in and out. The gangplank is always extended out, and there's a big pipe out there with a winch on it. It raises and lowers the gangplank. Depending on the water level, sometimes you walk up to the boat, sometimes you walk down to the boat. And there's also an elevator for the first 3 floors right inside the balcony. The dining decks were huge, just great big rooms. And they could move anything, anywhere to suit the need of the client. We had a open bar, and the bar was placed in the left corner on the bow side, and all the food was laid out along the aft side, that and the cake. We had 80 people in this room. Oh yeah, we had a piano player and his wife, and played and sang songs. It was really good. Yeah. Tried to get the barbershop quartet that normally did it, but unfortunately we got married on Derby Day, first Saturday in May, and they were at the Kentucky Derby. And this is the patio deck up on top. And far in there is the pilot house where the captain steered the boat. And there's about 100 bright red stackable plastic chairs lined up there. The best part of the cruise for me, whenever I went, was coming back into town after dark. Downtown Cincinnati all lit up. It was just a breathtaking experience. I think everybody that was at the wedding said it was really something to see. They all had a good time. Dan did a good job of taking videos. I think you'd probably picture him maneuvering around. How about some fish stories? When I had my little 12-foot boat, we fished Stevens Lake and Lake Erie. Danny always seemed to outfish, or maybe it should be outcatch me. Once on Lake Erie, we were fishing the pocket by the dam. I was in the back, Dan up front. We anchored broadside to the dam so we could fish both sides of the boat. Dan was cleaning up. My performance was pathetic. Dan felt sorry for me. Not only did we exchange seats, we also swapped poles and bait. 3 minutes later, he's catching fish with my gear. I don't remember what lake we were on this time. We were in my 17-foot walk-through bow boat. Dan latched onto a dandy. It was giving him a battle. I grabbed my net with the 4-foot handle. Dan was finally gaining on the beast. Did a tail walk. Wow! It was a huge rainbow trout. It must have been a breeder. Dan was bringing him in on the left side of the outboard. I was trying for a position on the right. The way the fish was coming, I had to lean out over the 50 horsepower outboard. I stretched and reached with the net. Just a couple more feet, and it was ours. That big, beautiful rainbow was about a foot from the net. He got off and was gone. That fish was at least 2 feet long. The line didn't hit the net or anything. He just got off. Dan invited a MetLife co-worker to fish with us. I have no idea at this time what his name was or the lake. But I know we scared the bejeebers out of him. We had my 20-foot center console with the 175 horsepower outboard. We were going to do some trolling. Good trolling speed is around 1 to 1.5 miles per hour, depending on the lure. I had to use bucket brakes to slow down to that speed. I made my own using rubber horse buckets. I drilled a 1-inch hole in each panel in the bottom and one in the center. I lashed 4 ropes equally spaced around the rim. They led to a single line that would hook on a cleat on the side of the boat. One on each side. Worked great. Dan's work friend decided to sit on the bow rail with his feet behind the post for stability. What we were about to do, I did by accident on Lake Ontario. So I whispered to Dan to hang on. I told his friend that we were going to move. My brakes worked very well. I slammed the throttle to full. My boat immediately tried to go vertical. I raised his friend about 10 feet instantly. Scared the crap out of him. Dan loved it. Dan's first wife passed away, I think, about 5 years ago. Dan lost his bad leg about 3 years ago. He had swelling problems and leaking in the other. That finally healed, but he had spent so much time in the chair, he had no strength to maneuver. He went to rehab for a few weeks to build back up. While there, he got COVID. It was hard on him, but he recovered and went back to rehab. Rita was talking on the phone with him. the nurse came in, and he was going to call her back. About then his heart just stopped. A while ago, Dan and I got back in touch over the phone. About once a week or so, he'd call or I'd call him. It was good. He told the same old stories again. He had the phone on speaker so Rita could keep up. Rita was a godsend for Dan. I had really hoped I could finagle a way to go see them, but they're in Butler, about 5 hours or so away, just outside Pittsburgh. I could sense Dan's contentment. He was happy. Hi, folks. Thought I'd put this one, a little short one in here at the end. You get a little insight of Danny's trials and tribulations and fun times. He always outfished me. He rubbed it in, too. Well, I miss our weekly conversations already. It occurred to me while I was doing this that us old guys, old folks for that matter, that's all we got is old stories at this point. I'm glad I got most of them out here on YouTube. Go back and visit them. After a while, dates and times and places get a little fuzzy. Anyway, Dan wanted to get home from rehab and get back to Rita. Disappointed the game. They were in the right place at the right time. She took care of him and he took care of her. Kind of made for each other. They loved each other really strong. I could tell that. Danny was looking forward to getting home. And when I say Dan died a happy man, he did. And one thing I can really say about him, he was a really, really good man. It's a pleasure to know him. So, that's about it, folks. Take care of yourselves. And I wish you all the best.